Hello, this is Theresa Conway-Hayes in Meridian, Idaho, and today we're going to be stamping with me using the Snow Wonder stamp set. This is the Snow Wonder stamp set. Last year, or in the last annual catalog, it did bundle with the Snow Time dies, and both of those are available still. But they're just not bundled together for a savings any longer. So looks like the technology is working good. Let's go ahead and put that to the side. What I did today was oops, I have some glue there. I'll have to touch that up. So I used gray cardstock for the base. And this is just half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Then it has a basic white insert that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then the front layer, there's actually 2 layers here. There is a silver foil layer that is actually, let's see, I don't usually do 1/8 measurements. So the white layer is still 4 by 5 1/4, but the foil is 4 and, let's see, 4 1/8 by 5 3/4, I believe is what it would be. I don't have my cheat sheet out. So then what I did was I used clear embossing powder for the images. So we've got the snowman and the trees, and then on the label where we've used the snowflakes. I love all of the images in this set. They're great. Once I did the embossing with, I know it looks like white embossing, but this is actually clear embossing. Then I took the brushes, the blending brushes, and I blended in fresh freesia, balmy blue, shaded spruce, and smoky slate, and a night and navy around the edges. So, and then I did a little bit of that on the tag as well, and now the tag I don't have measurements for, or the sentiment, because I didn't measure it. What I did was I stamped the sentiment, and then I trimmed a rectangle as close to the sentiment as possible, and then I adhered this rectangle onto this foil, and I trimmed it with about an 1/8 inch border all around. So this one I'd measured it, I guess is what you could say. But because I didn't want to cover up any more of the snowman, and I planned this card as I was doing it, I decided to just make everything as tight as possible to be able to put over on this side. So let's go ahead and do this card. We've got our gray card base. We've got our insert. So let's go ahead and put the insert in. Now, sometimes it's fun, before we do that, sometimes it's fun just to do some stamping on the insert. So let's do a little stamping on the insert. Let's stamp some trees in shaded spruce. The last time I did this, which I had a stamped one for this card, but when I used the green, I got shaded spruce on my thumb and ruined my insert. So I just pulled it out and put in a clean white insert. So I'm gonna try not to make that mistake again. Now I'm gonna use the smoky slate for the snowflakes. And when I want to stamp off and I don't have any scratch paper handy, I just use the back of the layer that I'm stamping on, because no one is going to see that. Actually, I don't want any more. I'm happy with that. Let's make sure I don't have any ink on my fingers. I just keep a package of wet wipes, baby wipes handy for this sort of thing, to keep my hands clean and to do a quick wash of my stamps. Usually I will clean my stamps with a Stampin' Chamois, which I have handy here. It's right here on a shelf for me to grab to clean my stamps. I'm using the Tombow glue so that I have a little wiggle room for lining this up. Okay, the inside's done. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the silver foil on for the first layer. Now you notice sometimes I hit my glue like that. That helps to get the glue running. Some people shake it. It's better if you tap it on a hard surface, in my opinion, because it'll get the glue running much quicker. So my measurements weren't all that great on this one. So I just kept trimming until I could get it to look nice. And sometimes you have to do that. So now that's done. And let me just make sure that when I go to put this down, we're going to have a decent border, which we are. Okay. So now we've got this layer, which ideally this would be 4 1/8 by 5 1/2, maybe is what that would be. Or 5 1/4, something like that. I'm not real good at measurements. And you don't have to be. Once you get going, you can eye a lot of this. So I went ahead and I embossed this with clear embossing powder using the snowman image, which is really cute. I love this image. And the trees and some snowflakes. So I am going to start with fresh freesia. And I'm going to grab some paper. I'm going to ink up my brush, then tap it off, and come from the paper onto the layer. And I just sponged the whole thing for the first time because this is my lightest color. So it's easy to blend over this color. If there's places that I decide after I'm done that I don't want it, and then you see, once you gotta make sure that pad is tight. Once you get the ink on, then you can take a cloth and you can rub over, and that takes the ink off of the embossing. So you see how this is looking like white embossing powder instead of clear embossing powder. Next, we're going to go with Balmy Blue. So I got all kinds of stuff sticking. See how that just wipes off. When I'm done with this Facebook Live, I will be uploading it to YouTube. I'd love it if you would mosey on over to my YouTube channel and like me on my YouTube channel. Don't have my little thing showing. There we go. Okay, now, where are we at? Now we're going to do shaded spruce. And I'm just going to do the trees for this one. Need to get a container for that ribbon over there. It keeps sticking to my cloth. Okay, we're done with the shaded spruce. And I did put my thumb right in it that time. And then I'm going to take some smoky slate. I'm going to do the snow, definitely the snowman. I think I'll do the snowman just a little bit more. Okay. This is fun because each time it comes out different. And now I'm going to edge everything in with Night of Navy. Give that one last wipe. And we're going to go ahead and put that on there. This ribbon kept grabbing hold of my cloth every time. I think I'm going to go ahead and use this ribbon right here. And you know, I don't always know how this is going to look until after I'm done. I may like it, I may not like it, but that's what is fun about doing your own cards, is that you experiment and sometimes you come up with something that you really like. And it just gives you a lot of satisfaction. This is some of the last of this ribbon. I did order more, and I rarely, if ever, order a ribbon a second time. I think this might be the first time. I usually do not even finish my ribbon off because I'm not very good at using ribbon. I mean, I just don't put it on all my cards like some people do. And I think that's fine if that's something that you do. I bought these orange scissors off of Amazon, and these are my ribbon scissors, and I love them for that purpose. I never have to fight my ribbon when I'm cutting it. So I don't have any wiggle room with this, so I think I'm going to just be okay to cover up more of the bottom images on this card. See how nice and easy that glue comes out when you tap it? Gonna hold this down for a minute. Tombow dries pretty quickly. Now I'm going to use dimensionals for the back of my sentiment. Keep thinking that one doesn't feel real sticky. Just in case. Put a little glue on it. could tear it off and put something else there, but I'm just going to put a little glue. Oh, there's a couple I didn't have pulled up. There we go. Now I'm going to get a little bit more crazy with the bling on this one. And I'm going to look for my rhinestones. I'll use the Take Your Pick tool and just put some bling on here. There we go. Not going to go too crazy. So now we have these two cards, having used the Snow Wonder stamp set. I didn't use any dies, I just used my paper trimmer, paper, ink, and a little bit of ribbon here. Okay, so the description said that I was going to play with some of the other stuff on my desk. And right here we have a card, a fun fold card. I don't usually do fun fold cards, but I was inspired for some reason. So I took, let's see, this is an 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored the sides at about 2. One looks like it's like 2 1/4 and the other looks like it's 2. So I must have scored this one first, and then I was like, okay, I can only score this one this much for it to meet together, which is okay. You know, it doesn't make a big difference. I have an insert in the middle, and I'm trying to remember what stamp set I used for this. And I just drew a blank. I used a stamp set with trees. Wow. Oh yeah, this is Beauty of Friendship, of course, because I used the Beauty of Friendship. This isn't, what is this called? Beauty of the Earth, and it's all from the same suite. DSP paper. I used, what did I use? mango. Huh, I don't have a mango stamp pad over here. That's interesting. So I use Mango Melody cardstock, and then I use Mango Melody ink, Smoky Slate for the trees, and it looks like I used Garden Green for the leaves as well. Or no, yeah, either that or I used the Granny Apple Green like I did for this. This is not Granny Apple Green. Yes, it is. Or is it Pear Pizzazz? See, that's the problem with making things ahead of time, is that some of these colors are hard to remember. I believe this is Mossy Meadow right here. And what happened was I just had some scraps on my desk. So I started creating. I knew I wanted to use this embossing folder. This is one of the die cutting plates that, and I think this is called Greenery something. Oh goodness, I give up trying to remember names. So there's a few die cutting plates in the catalog that don't come with a stamp set. And it'd be easier to look at the plates instead of the index. Here we go. So like Flower Market doesn't come with a stamp set. Hi Deb. And Iconic doesn't come with a stamp set. Basic Borders. But the one that I used here is called Stitched Greenery. And then there's a couple others that don't come. Like the Picture This doesn't come with a stamp set. And there's one more. Oh, no. Tailor-Made Tags. And then Diorama, wherever Diorama is, right here. Layering Diorama. Okay. So what I thought I would do is, I made this belly band. So then I had another piece of Granny Apple Green, and I had another strip that I had die cut, and I just got a little crazy here with looking at what ink to paper would do. So, and then, you know, this is kind of a scrap because for some reason I cut that out. So I was looking earlier and I was like, can I still use this? And I believe that I can. So if I make a label that is that big, which I did with oops, bumped the camera. Which I did with the Everyday label. And so what I was thinking is this time I could go ahead and punch out with the same design. Actually, I used a different label for that one. But this covers up the hole. And we're just going to go for this. We're going to make this happen. I'm going to use double-sided tape to make sure that this is secure. So Deb, I made 2 snowman cards, and those will go with the Christmas stash, because for those of you who don't watch me regularly or haven't caught it, I do a workshop every month in my home, and we're putting cards together during the workshop for ourselves. And then the last card we did was a Christmas card to donate. And that stash is going to go to a nursing home if things go well and we can find a nursing home for them to go to. They're right here, Deb. So this one I used some sparkly ribbon. And that one I didn't. And this is crooked. Ah! And that circle is showing. So that one's not going to work. And I can't remember what I cut this out with. This is the stamp or the die set that goes with, and the label wasn't in here. I thought it might be. Found it. Seasonal labels. That's what it was. Got that cut out. Now that will cover that nicely. So I'm trying to develop a habit where I'm going to do this a regular live, a consistent live, every Sunday at 1 o'clock. So this is the second time. Last time I streamed it to YouTube, but that makes it a little, I'm not knowledgeable enough yet about YouTube, how to advertise that ahead of time. So I think I'll stick with Facebook for now. So this one does have some of that stitch greenery on it. I haven't quite figured out which layout I'm going to have, horizontal or portrait. Let's look at some of this Beauty of the Earth. That one is pretty. Too bad it has butterflies or whatever cut out of it already. There's some more. And actually, I think I'm going to change this cut. So I'm going to make a little mark, see if it'll show. Yeah, I think it will. Just a tiny bit more. Okay, so now I need to keep this out. I want these trees. I like these trees. I could put the trees there. And then I could put this there. I'm going to go with that. I'm just noticing things and kind of thinking. A lot of times I case cards, but like when I have my scraps on my desk, like here's some more that are in the process of being made, then I end up doing my own thing. So this is 5.5, so we're going to make this 5.5. 1/8 inch short of 5.5. That'll work. And then this needs to be 1 3/4 inches. Let's go a little long. Make sure I'm not off on my measurement. Yeah, I'm going 1/8 inch. Okay. So this one is cut. And I need it to be two and a quarter. Let's try 2.5. So let's take 1/4 off. I'm just going to take a sliver off. I think my cardstock is a little crooked. Take a little sliver off. Okay, that's bigger than what the other one is, but it's going to work. So I had most of the, I think it's called Painted Christmas suite, but not everything. So I succumbed, and because of the sale that's coming up on the 16th to the, let's see, 16, 17, 18. It's a 3-day sale. So from the 16th to the 18th, I had to take advantage of the sale because I needed some vanilla cardstock. And I wanted to get some more Christmas rhinestones anyways. So, I don't know which one is the piece I cut for this. It's this one. So, I decided to order the rest of that suite. I got the cherry cobbler ribbon that has, I think it's gold edging on it. And then, most importantly, I got the other bundle, which is 2 pine, so it's pine cones, but it's also the pine sprigs. And so there's 2 dies that you layer together. All right, that's gonna work. And then this goes on top of here. Still looks a little crooked. So to fix that, we'll go ahead and do something like this. I like that. And again, I'm just experimenting. I'm just laying stuff down, and it will give me ideas for, you know, it gives me ideas for this card. I may say, nope, I don't like any of it. I'm going to scrap it, but maybe I'll come up with an idea for something else. So I am just winging this. So now I'm going to do a sentiment. Let's see. I need a white scrap. So I put my scraps in here. These are like pencil Ziploc baggies. And so I put like the green in the green and the orange and the white and the orange and black and brown in the black and pinks and reds in the pink and green and blues. Blues and the blue. I guess I'm putting orange in there too, but orange belongs over here. You don't belong over here. Okay, so I need a piece of white scrap. have to remember that, okay, everything can be glued here. That's okay. So now I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to take the stamp set, and I'm going to do how about I Believe in You? I use Memento black ink. This is a photopolymer stamp set, but I was able to stamp just fine without that. If you have problems stamping with a photopolymer stamp set, you'll want to have a piercing mat or some kind of foam or padding to put underneath when you stamp. There we go. Let's just do some shading on that. So let's grab something that's had some blue. No, something that's had some green. And something that's had some orange. I don't see very much orange on this. So I'll grab my pumpkin pie. Pull a little orange into there. And then I think I want to take this. I'm going to outline the edge. I'm using garden green. Okay, so we're going to put that on a dimensional or two. Or 3 in this case. I'm just going to put that right in the center. And that looks pretty straight. So now I'm still not feeling like things are balanced. So I'm going to take some big rhinestones from here, and then I'm going to take a couple little rhinestones here. And one more medium rhinestone right here. There, I think something like that helps with the balance. I think it helps to take the eye away if anything's crooked, and it just makes the card a little bit more cohesive. So the last thing I'm going to do is grab an inside layer, and let's just have a little fun with that. Let's see, let's do a tree. We'll do the tree in basic gray. Let's do gray granite. And then we're going to do this in all kinds of colors. Start with cinnamon cider. And then let's take white cobbler. Oops. And then let's take a dark green, like Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to stop at that because I don't want to contaminate my markers. And I just huffed on that. We'll see what happens. I like it. I like it a lot. So that's our inside. Make sure I don't have any ink on my fingers. That shaded spruce is messy. It's a messy stamp pad. There you go. And there's another fun fold card. Using the Beauty of Friendship with some paper from the Beauty of Friendship suite. And then some other miscellaneous things like the seasonal labels. And just some stuff that's sitting around on the desk. Just have fun with this sort of thing. Huh. I just realized. Oh, so when you put your belly band on, you want to pay attention to how you put your belly band on, because I put my belly band on upside down. Thank you. Thanks, Deb. Okay, that's what I have for you today, and we'll see you again next Sunday. Thanks for watching. Bye.